All right, the Los Angeles Clippers are not what I expected them to be. Probably not what you and a lot of other people thought they were going to be when the season started off. I will start off by saying for my preseason seeding rankings, I had Oklahoma City at 1, Denver at 2, Houston at 3. So those are all spot on for where we're at so far into the season. Then where the Lakers are, I had a Los Angeles team at 4, but I had the Clippers as my 4 seed. And at this point in the season, that looks really, really far off. So I just got to probably take the L on that one, unless they turn shit around in some crazy way. But I don't really see that happening with the Clippers. They picked up Brooke Lopez. They picked up Bradley Beal. I thought Brooke Lopez was going to be huge for them coming in off the bench and kind of backing up Zubac on the bench, but he hasn't been very great for them. If you didn't know, Bradley Beal broke his hip on November 12th. I wasn't keeping up with the Clippers too much. I was just like kind of watching their record and their seeding in the Western Conference. But in case you didn't know, yes, Bradley Beal broke his hip on November 12th. That was about a week ago at this point, so I was definitely behind on that news. But if I'm the first person you're hearing it from, breaking news, Bradley Beal has broken his hip. I hope Bradley Beal will be okay, but he's not going to be okay. He's out for the entire season. He had to get surgery to fix his broken hip. I remember Chet Holmgren broke his hip. I want to say it was last season, and I was kind of thinking, man, Chet Holmgren's just injury prone. I don't want to use the word soft. The video is not to hate on Chet Holmgren, but Holmgren has been pretty injury prone. I heard broken hip with Chet, and I was thinking, that's a fucking old lady injury. Did he like fall down the stairs or what happened? But Bradley Beal broke his hip as well. That's the most broken hips I've heard in the NBA in a 2 year span. I've never heard anyone get their hip broken in the NBA, honestly, until it happened to Chet Holmgren. Now it happens to Bradley Beal. Just a freak injury. You take a bad fall, you fall right on your hip, and if you fall hard enough, it's gonna fucking break. And Bradley Beal's hip fucking broke, unfortunately. Clippers are 4-10 at this point. They're sitting in the 11 seed, so maybe they can get some shit going and overtake Utah for the number 10 seed. I wouldn't completely rule Los Angeles Clippers out at this point in the season, but again, Brooke Lopez came and I thought he'd have a lot bigger impact than he has had so far into the season. They needed a backup for Zubac really bad, and with Brooke Lopez being a floor spacer, he can get down low and be physical down low. He can be a decent post defender, decent shot blocker, even in his more advanced age at this point. But Brooke Lopez hasn't had a giant impact like I thought he would. I thought Bradley Beal was going to have a good impact. It was too early in the season to really give Bradley Beal a fair evaluation, but he broke his hip. I think he only played 6 games in the season before that had happened, maybe 8 games, something like that. But Bradley Beal was averaging 8 points. His season high was 12 points. He had 2 games where he scored 12 points for the Clippers. So again, it was really early in the season. I'm sure they were still ingratiating him into the offense. It's not a Bradley Beal hating video or to say Bradley Beal is washed up because I don't so much think that he is in terms of his age and just his skills, but he was playing losing basketball in Phoenix for a pretty long time, and once you get into those losing basketball habits, it's kind of hard to get out of them. And then Bradley Beal, I never thought he loved basketball that much to begin with. To be fair, I don't think he has a great passion for the game, but he did get paid, and I can't get mad at guys for getting paid. Get that fucking money and break that hip and sit out Bradley Beal. I am here for it. But moving on, James Harden has been great this season so far for the Clippers. He's like their only bright spot. Here's James Harden's numbers for this season right down here. So he's giving you 26 points, basically 9 assists, 8.7, just rounded up to 9. He's giving you the 6 rebounds. He's 92% from the free throw line. Our boy's 37% from 3 on basically 10 attempts a game, so that's a really high percentage for that volume. 43% from the field. He's never been highly efficient from the field, but long story short, short story long, long story short, James Harden's balling 26 points, the 9 assists. I'll take it all day. 37% from 3. James Harden is doing his part out there, but he doesn't have guys around him to help him, or he does have guys around him to help him. At least he did. Then Bradley Beal broke his hip. We'll get to Kawhi in a second, but y'all can already guess what's up with Kawhi. The man never plays any games. He's always hurt or pretending to be hurt, whatever you want to say about Kawhi. he's unavailable. We can just use that word, unavailable, to play for whatever the reason is. But James Harden's playing really well. Again, just doesn't have the help out there. I thought Brook Lopez and Harden were gonna have a crazy pick and pop connection, which we just haven't seen yet. I thought he'd look good alongside Kawhi. We already know they look good together. I thought Bradley Beal would pop in and be a good shooter for them and just help out the team. But again, Bradley Beal's hip is destroyed. Brook Lopez hasn't been doing a lot for them either. Moving on to the claw, the claw Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi this season, he's averaging 24.3 points, so that's solid. 6 rebounds, 3 assists. He's not a huge playmaker. You just expect him to score 24, 25 points on insane efficiencies. 96% from the free throw line. That's an amazing percentage from the line. He's 40% from three. Amazing 3-point percentage. He's 50% from the field. So he's 50, 40, 90 club so far this season, but he's also in the 6 games club. He's played eight out of the 14 games he's missed. Yeah, so he's played 6. He's missed 8 out of 14 games. And it's just kind of the same old Kawhi Leonard story. I am a Spurs fan. I still love Kawhi for the most part. He left. He trashed the San Antonio organization. He won a ring with the Raptors, and he had a middle finger engraved inside of his ring like a fuck you to San Antonio. Um, Once the aspiration situation happened with Kawhi, so he has his fake tree planting, not money laundering, but just a fake tree planting business. So essentially, the Clippers could pay Kawhi more money and navigate around the salary cap. So it was some dirty stuff that was going on. Him and his uncle Dennis. I think his uncle Dennis just gives him a bunch of terrible advice, and Kawhi kind of follows along with his advice. So I did think he kind of faked an injury to get out of San Antonio. I don't know if Kawhi is or isn't injury prone, but we all kind of accept that he is or he's unavailable a lot of the time. I don't know if the injuries are real or if he just doesn't want to play a lot of the games in the season. Whatever it is, Kawhi's unavailable a lot of the time. He went to Toronto, of course, in 2019. They won the championship. A lot of people make it out to say like, oh, Kawhi goes to Toronto and he carried these guys to a championship. Kawhi just dragged this trash team to a championship. I don't think people actually think Toronto is trash, but they act like it was an insane carry job like Dirk Nowitzki in 2011. Kawhi was great. Toronto would not have won the championship without Kawhi. No way, but the entire team was fucking stacked. Kevin Durant tears his Achilles, and things just timed up perfectly for Toronto to win that championship. If y'all don't remember, though, they had Marc Gasol, Serge Ibaka. They had, yeah, Jonas Valanciunas, Siakam. They had Norman Powell. I wrote the names down with so many people. OG Anunoby, Kyle Lowry, Fred VanVleet, Danny Green. They ran like 10 deep. They had an absolutely stacked team, so it's not like Kawhi dragged Toronto to a championship, but he played great. They won the championship. Gets his ring, fuck you Spurs, middle finger engraved inside of his ring, and then, it seems like Kawhi won that championship, and then he was pretty satisfied with what his career had gotten him. I don't think Kawhi has an insane passion towards basketball, but he's just such a talented player that you'll take him all day when he is out there. But with any player, people will say with Kawhi, oh, if he's healthy, when he's healthy, he's one of the best players in basketball. If you have to follow up someone's qualifications with when they're healthy, or if you have to start it off with if this guy's healthy, he can do this, or this guy can do this when he is healthy, that's just a huge red flag for me, to be honest. If you have to say that, I take that as this guy's usually not healthy because people are assuming for him to miss a large amount of games, and Kawhi's missing a lot of his games so far this season. Without Kawhi being fairly healthy, without Kawhi giving them maybe 55 or 60 games, I don't see them making it to the number 4 seed where I had projected them landing. So, I was most likely wrong. I don't think the Clippers are gonna get everything back together and finish in the number 4 seed. They may get some things together and make the play-in. I do not see them finishing in the top 6 seeds to make the playoffs just outright. Bradley Beal's hip injury is a killer. He wasn't doing great before the hip injury, but they're probably just still trying to ingratiate him and get comfortable playing with him and Kawhi and James Harden on the floor all together, because Didn't really get to see very many games at all like that, with Kawhi missing so many games, and with Bradley Beal already being out for the entire season. So, it's just an unfortunate situation for Clippers fans. I thought y'all were going to be really good this season, to be honest. I put the Clippers at the number 4 seed because I expected Kawhi, just dumb on my part. I expected Kawhi to be fairly healthy, and it's crazy because Kawhi's played 6 games this season. Of course, James Harden's played 13. He's only missed 1 game. Harden played 72 last season, 79 the season before. James Harden's 36. Kawhi's 34 at this point. But James Harden, he's always been injury prone. That's always been a knock on James Harden, and it's crazy to see that James Harden's kind of aged more gracefully than Kawhi Leonard, because I would have thought it was going to be the other way around if you asked me 4 or 5 years ago. But yeah, Clippers are sitting in the number 11 seed. They're 4-10 right now. I thought they were going to be the number 4 seed when the preseason started. I bet you thought they were going to be better than they are right now as well, but up to this point, they just aren't. Please like and subscribe. I'm trying to get to 7 million subscribers. Comment below what you think about the Clippers situation. What you think's the biggest reason they've been unsuccessful. I totally forgot they had the aspiration drama going on as well with Kawhi Leonard and his tree planting company business corporation. So maybe that drama is affecting them or affecting Kawhi's play as well. But let me know what you think. We'll see y'all next time. Peace.